often set resolutions, and within a few weeks, a month or two, we forget about them, and we never end up implementing some of those changes that we wanted to make. And Dr. Vallis is going to give us tips on how we can do that. Implement change for the long term. And at the end, my goal is to try to put this all together in what's termed lifestyle medicine. Can our lifestyle actually be a type of medicine that helps us live longer, live healthier? And my goal is to try to put all of this together for you. So let's get started. First up, I want to tell you there's some great news. Canadians are living longer. Over the last 100 years, life expectancy in Canada has gone up substantially. In the 1920s and 30s, just 100 years ago, the average life expectancy in Canada was in the mid-50s. But over the subsequent 100 years, there's been a dramatic increase in how long we're living. The average Canadian is going to live well into their 70s and 80s. A 30-year improvement in our life expectancy. How has that been achieved? Well, much of that has actually been achieved through a better understanding of the causes of heart disease, how to prevent it, and how to treat it effectively. Unfortunately, we still struggle with managing cancers, other chronic diseases, lung diseases, Alzheimer's, diabetes. Some of those diseases we haven't made nearly as much progress, but in heart disease, we know how to prevent it, how to treat it effectively, and prevent it from getting worse. It's really about adapting lifestyle changes, implementing them effectively, and carrying them forward, and avoiding risky substances and behaviors like smoking. By adopting these lifestyle changes, we can have an enormous impact on our heart health and our general health. And that's really the goal of Healthy Heart Day today. As you go through this morning, I want you to set SMART goals. This is a day for action. What are SMART goals? They are goals that are specific. Don't just say, I'm going to exercise more. You have to set a specific goal. I want to be able to walk a mile each day. It should be measurable. Not just I want to walk more, but I want to walk a mile. It should be achievable and realistic. I know for myself, I couldn't run a marathon right now. I don't think my knees could take it. If I set that as a goal for myself, I would be frustrated that I couldn't achieve it. But maybe I can walk half a marathon. Maybe I can walk a kilometer. Those are achievable, realistic goals for me. But it should also be time-bound, timely. When are you going to achieve those goals? So, I want to walk a mile 5 days a week in 2 months. That's a time-bound, timely action that you know at the end of 2 months you can look back and say, yep, I achieved that. Or no, there was a specific reason why I couldn't. I'm going to redouble my efforts. Setting SMART goals, giving targets for yourself are essential. And that's really the goal of this day, is to give you a knowledge-based goals that I want you to set so you can implement a healthier, longer life. And our journey will be led by 3 expert speakers that I introduced you to earlier. But you know, I've had this quote up in previous Healthy Heart Days. I love this quote from Martin Luther King Jr. He said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Motion and physical activity is essential. And who better to guide us on that journey of physical activity than our exceptional health and wellness coach, Cindy Catton, a certified kinesiologist and personal trainer who will be coming to us many times this morning, teaching us simple exercises we can do at home to stay active, to stay engaged, and to lead a healthier, more fulfilling, complete life. It's going to be so much fun to work with Cindy this morning. But before we get started with our expert speakers, I have a surprise speaker for you. I'm so honored to be speaking with John New today. He is 101 years of age. He is a World War II veteran who now lives in Kitchener. Just last...
Canxi dễ dàng hơn. Như vậy thì là chúng tương tác lẫn nhau. Để mà cơ thể chúng ta hấp thụ canxi để mà chúng ta làm cho xương chúng ta cứng và chắc hơn.
Dạ, như vậy là magie là quan trọng, nhưng mà nó cũng không trọng hơn canxi, nhưng mà vì người ta quá đề cao canxi, người ta quên magie, cho nên là mới có cái lời cảnh báo rằng magie nhiều khi là thiếu đó thì cũng không có giúp để chiều cao được, là vì calcium không có magie thì nó lại không có cái sự tương tác để giúp mình hấp thu đầy đủ cái lượng quan trọng khoáng chất để cho giúp xương chắc khỏe và tăng trưởng chiều cao. Dạ, thưa bác sĩ, magie còn nói là có lợi ích cho đầu óc, cho não, thì không biết là nó giúp ích như thế nào, nó bổ não, bổ thần kinh hay như thế nào thưa bác sĩ?
Dạ thưa đúng, thì là cái magie này nó có rất cần thiết cho tất cả các tế bào hoạt động trong cơ, trong xương và trong dây thần kinh luôn. Thì người ta nhận thấy là những cái người bệnh mà thiên đầu thống, tức là nhức đầu mà tiếng Mỹ gọi là migraine, tiếng Pháp là migraine hả? Đó thì là
đau nửa đầu, đau
nửa đầu đó, thì người ta nhận xét là những cái người bệnh nhân này lại có cái lượng magie thấp trong cơ thể, thành ra là người ta có khuynh hướng là người ta nên những cái người mà bệnh về mà thiên độc thống thì là người ta cho uống thuốc thêm một cái viên bổ sung magie nữa. Thành ra là nói chung là cái magie này cũng rất cần thiết cho cái cơ quan là những cái dây thần kinh ở trong não chúng ta.
More fulfilling, complete life. It's going to be so much fun to work with Cindy this morning. But before we get started with our expert speakers, I have a surprise speaker for you. I'm so honored to be speaking with John New today. He is 101 years of age. He is a World War II veteran who now lives in Kitchener. Just last summer, I believe, he received the Legion of Honor by the French government for his part in liberating that country from Nazi occupation. John enlisted when he was only 19 years of age in Chatham, Ontario. It's such a privilege for me to be speaking with John this morning. There's so much that we can learn from him. At 101 years of age, he has no chronic illnesses. He's on no medications. He is so engaged in his community, so active. There's so much that I can learn from him, and he will be such an inspiration for you as well, I believe. I look forward to our discussion this morning, John. Well, thank you, John, for coming and speaking with me this morning. Tell me your secret. How did you live such a healthy, long life?
Quite frankly, Doctor, I don't know. When I was first born, I had bad coughing fits for 2 years. They were so bad that my uncle, who was a carpenter, made a coffin for me.
Oh, my goodness.
We grew up in a small community in Romania where my parents were farmers, and we had nothing but good food. You can't beat good natural food.
You know, we need to get back to those basics. Right? We need to go back to eating real foods, whole foods.
We are totally surrounded by and bombarded by ads for this and ads for the other thing. The only sweet I got was from my paternal grandfather, who liked to brag me, of course. And I was very fortunate until I was age 10. We were in Canada during the Depression years, 2 years of high school. Then I had to leave because my family needed the money. I got a job. And 19, I enlisted in the Army. But after I got into the Army, I practically existed on Coca-Cola and chocolate bars. They were almost free. It did my teeth no good whatsoever. I eventually had to go to a dentist. He shook his head. I remember this. It was very bad. So I wore dentures from that time on.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize that those types of things that, those sweets, those sugary drinks and things like that, the impact that it can have on things like your dental health, but also your general health. But obviously you've overcome that and you've kept the chin up. And certainly, I've heard of your experiences during the Second World War.
I had the opportunity while I was in Germany to go to Belgian concentration camp. And what I saw there totally changed my life. I had what I can determine now with PTSD. The doctor in the unit was going to send me home. But a lieutenant took me under his wing, and we went around to units in Germany, making sure the people who had enough points to be rehabilitated to home, to Canada, were on their way. So that that more or less saved me.
It's interesting you say that. A lot of things that I've read, and I'm sure you have as well. That ability to give back to people, to help other people in need. That's actually a very powerful healing thing for the individual themselves. Do you have any suggestions for Canadians as we're trying to struggle and deal with some of the crisis that's happening around us in the world?
I like reading about what happens to people. How do they roll with the punches, so to speak?
Along that vein, that spiritual connection, that community connection. I gather you were an Anglican minister
Yes.
for a number of years?
As you might expect, with a congregation of a couple of hundred people, you're going to have people who have all kinds of life experiences.
That shared community, that willingness to help others and learn from others. There's so much that we can get from each other in so many intangible ways.
We have to talk to one another.
Exactly. Yeah. No one is better than anyone else. We're all in this together.
We're not really. We're all going the same way.
Exactly. In these times when there's a lot of people as they age, their memory starts to fail, or their cognition and this dementia and things like that. One of the things that healthcare providers we really talk about that people should stay engaged, they should read more, try to be always inquisitive and keep our brains active. And again, I think you're a tribute to that, right? That we've had such a long, healthy life for 101 years.
When I reached my 60s, I had 2 bleeding ulcers.
Ôi trời ơi!
The first one I nearly died. That woke me up. Really woke me up. And I had a look at what I was doing with regard to my diet. I was eating reasonably good food, but I had then realized that I eat too much at one time. I began to eat slower, chewing my food well. And as you can see, I'm like you, not that much belly fat there, is there?
We're seeing an epidemic, of obesity in Canada and really around the world. And a lot of that, it has to do with the fact that people are eating really over-processed synthetic foods that are not real, that have high calorie contents, and they're just eating too much of it. The goal of this year's event is really to talk about healthy aging. As we get older, how can we live longer but also live healthier and stay engaged and stay, active throughout our life? And certainly you're a testament to what we can achieve.
What little bit I have to tell, I hope some people will think about what I have said.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate
Pleasure. Thank you, Doctor.
A phenomenal conversation. I so appreciate your time and all that you've accomplished through your life. You're a very humble person, and your life experiences are incredible. So.
Thank you.
Kính thưa quý vị, tôi thâu đoạn ngắn video này để nói lên cái vai trò quan trọng của quả tim trong cuộc sống con người, mà càng quan trọng hơn nữa tức là social support, tức là mình làm việc và có sự yểm trợ của những người đồng chí hướng, cái đó gọi là social support. Thành ra trong cuộc sống mà nếu không có social support thì cuộc sống trở thành vô ý nghĩa. Thành ra tôi phổ biến này trong mục đích đó, cho nên tôi liên lạc và tiếp xúc với những người Việt Nam trên khắp thế giới là để thông báo cho quý vị rằng chúng ta sống phải làm việc thông cảm nhau, hiểu nhau và tha thứ những gì mà tôi làm quý vị buồn. Đấy, thông cảm, hiểu nhau và tha thứ những gì tôi vô tình làm quý vị buồn, hay là một vài người cố tình diễn dịch sai làm tôi rất là buồn. Mà những người cố tình diễn dịch sai đó thì trong cuộc sống tôi gặp cũng 90 người rồi. Rất tiếc những người đó không còn trên thế gian này nữa. Đó là các bạn, quý vị hãy cùng tôi cầu nguyện cho những người đó vãng sanh thiên đàng nơi đất Phật. Cảm ơn quý vị.